Welcome and thank you for joining Happy Hour Holidaze, your go-to podcast for business, entrepreneurship, and life stories. We want you to go out there, get motivated, get inspired, build your dream, or else you're going to stay there and build other people's dreams. So today in the studio, we got a star-studded cast. As usual, we got your host, Manny Fresh. Hopefully you're grateful and thankful for everything at Thanksgiving. We got our co-host, Sean Febre, the dance maniac over here at the wedding. Couldn't stop dancing.
Mr. Footloose.
Call me Kevin Bacon. I don't know. And in studio today, we got DJ Chris Jones, our repeat guest, one of our boys over here. And in the house, we got restaurant fucking rainmaker superstar fucking Joseph Busicchia.
What up?
Hey! What's up, boss?
I
think you said his name right?
Did I say
Busicchia?
that?
You got it.
I got it. I was thinking about pussy, and that was that Busicchia. So, Joseph, man, hey, thank you for coming on, man. We're really excited to have you on.
I'm excited to be here, man.
Dude, so I know you've been in the hospitality industry for a long time. You've helped restaurants grow. You've managed teams. You're owner of multiple restaurants. One of the more popular ones here locally is Mother's that we absolutely love after we play golf. Tell us what inspired you to get into the hospitality industry and strive and succeed in it to a point where you just became one of the top guys in this industry, man.
You know, it's starting from the bottom, really understanding the restaurant, how it works. I think that becoming well-rounded in the whole, in restaurants. So from knowing how to wash the dish to know how to, cook the dish to, be able to understand that guests come to the restaurants because they want to have an experience, right? And you want to guide them through that experience. It's like, they come in, they enjoy their time, but you tell them pretty much where to go, what to eat, what they're going to enjoy. It's filling them and making them have a great experience, absolutely. But for me, it was very important it's what I love. I think this industry, like I was telling you, this industry is a hard industry. It's one of the most stressful there is. So you have to you have to love it, because if not, why do it? I tell people they want to jump in the industry. Hey, I want to open a restaurant. I'm going to retire. I'm going to open a restaurant. I go run the other way.
Retire my ass. Especially when you're the face of it.
Yeah.
When people want to see you.
And you have to know.
Come to see you.
There's a lot of people nowadays, they want to open restaurants. It's how I got the money. I got the cash. Well, let me put it down. Let me open a restaurant. But they have no clue about restaurants. And what happens? They fail. So unless you get somebody that really knows what's going on, it's just very, very, very hard.
So you got your start in Miami, right? Can you tell the audience what you were doing in Miami? You were working at clubs and...
Yeah, actually, I did it all. I started serving at this restaurant in Waterways in Aventura, and then I became a manager there. And then one of my friends moved to New York. And he was like, hey, you want to come to the Sagamore Hotel? They just reopened in South Beach and work there, bartending. And then I said, sure, not a problem. So I went over there, which was, it was a great experience. South Beach at the time was awesome, man. I think that was the best time since South Beach.
What time is this?
Yeah, what years?
Shit, yeah, like towards, in 2000s,
Okay,
Is that like when Will Smith came out? Welcome to Miami.
That's like 97, but this is probably the whole time where they're shooting the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
The Bad Boys.
Out of times. So that's pretty much. I met so many people at Sagamore Hotel. It was kind of crazy. I'm sitting there at the bar, and then you got literally Eva Mendes is sitting right there. There's nobody at the bar, and we're kind of like start talking, and we actually built a freaking relationship. Yeah. It was actually awesome, man. And met Will Smith, Cole Hauser, so many people that were staying there for like 3 months doing the movies.
Oh wow.
From there, I managed a couple nightclubs down there in South Beach. At the time, you had Opium Garden, Privé, Nikki Beach just started. That was hot. That was hot. That's when
no rooftop on the club.
Yeah, no roof. It's like I think
the stars.
It was amazing. And
how old were you around this time?
you're asking me a question, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel old now.
20 years ago.
This guy never fails to ask people how old they are.
Well, I mean, you gotta know.
Yeah, I'm 44 now.
Okay, so you were 24 when all.
Yeah,
So you were young,
living the
grind.
Yeah.
Hustling.
Yeah.
Hitting on Eva Mendes.
Nah, actually, we became really good friends, and actually, we don't talk anymore. Obviously, the lifestyle is the lifestyle, but met Tiesto, DJ Tiesto there. He was staying there. That's when they first opened around that area. And that time, they opened a space. So it was a great atmosphere back in the day in Miami at that time.
For those who don't know, Space is a house club, dance club that doesn't open.
It doesn't
close.
It doesn't close. Yeah. It's
so
open.
like,
it doesn't close.
So like 12 p.m. So you break sunlight, you break dawn, and they're still
They're still
and
people like 11 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, people
That's
go
crazy.
Still
people
drinking,
go,
right?
Yeah,
They don't have
do
like a
drugs.
limit on when they can stop selling alcohol
I
in
don't know.
Miami.
I know they're doing drugs.
No, but
Liquor too.
No, they do. They do liquor.
All night, all morning.
Yeah, because they had the 24-hour liquor license in Miami.
Oh,
That's
didn't
at
know
that
that.
time.
Okay.
But you walk in there, and literally, people go there Saturday night, party all night. Then they go on Sunday. They keep going all the way. Sunlight comes out. Everybody's hanging out, and then everybody going to Nikki Beach. And they're buying bottles, it's like laying on this beds. It was a party. And then end up at
24/7.
Pearl upstairs.
24/7.
Yeah, they go
24/7.
to club space, they sweat their ass off, they go to the beach, they take a shower, and then they start it all over again.
Yeah, people don't understand. Like, Miami will eat you out and spit you out quickly.
Quickly.
You gotta have
Imagine the
money
drug
though
use.
out
You
there,
need
right?
money?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
honestly, what they're doing is killing them in the long term. All
Doing
that
what?
Drug use.
What makes you
It's
think they're
huge.
just not high off life, man?
Hey, maybe they are. Maybe they are to break dawn and party from fucking 12 in the afternoon to 24 hours later. They're
Right.
high
Yeah.
on life.
High on life.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't that. It was ecstasy and Molly.
So then that's where you get your start in hospitality.
Yes.
Where do you go from there?
So I end up, the same guy that actually told me, like, hey, come to Sagamore Hotel because I'm moving to New York. He actually comes back, visits. He's like, Joe, so why don't you come and move to New York? And I'm like, well, he's like, you don't have nothing attached. You have no girlfriend, no dogs, no nothing. My mom was living there, but, I can visit her. But it's like, all right, sure. I went and moved to New York, lived in a studio on the Upper East Side, with a dog and, my friend there. And then I got a job. I go to this job fair for Rockefeller Center. At the time you had papers, right?
Oh,
So
the guy who gave you the job in the Sagamore Hotel didn't hook you up with a job when you went to New York?
No. He actually had his own job. He worked for some like Asian restaurants, bartending. But I decided to go to this place as a job fair. I didn't know, but it was like 2,000 people. Rockefeller Center where the ice skating ring is.
The
And
Christmas
this-
tree.
Yeah.
And the summer they built a 50-seat bar and like 300 tables outside.
Yep.
So it becomes the biggest happy hour in New York City. So I go and like, I don't know what's going on, like it's for restaurant associates. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to these interviews with 2,000 people. And I'm like, I'm not going to make it. And this lady goes like, ask me, so white people sit at the bar? And I'm like, well, because they don't want to be alone. They want to have a conversation, And it says, well, what do you like about being behind the bar? It's like, well, I think that's nothing better than connect two people that have nothing in common. They're sitting right next to each other and build a conversation. And it was great. We made so much money back in the time. And I tell you, I spent a lot of money too in New York. That's crazy.
It's probably more expensive than Miami,
Yeah.
I'm assuming, right?
At that time, yeah,
How much-
absolutely.
I'm
yeah.
sure it still is now. How much was your rent in the studio?
Well, I think it's more expensive here now than New York.
No way.
But how much was do you remember your rent for your apartment in New York?
Your
I would say
studio.
it was a studio for $1,400.
And this we're talking
And that
back
Wait, no, no.
back in the day.
and how
yeah.
big? And how big was it?
It's small, man.
100
It was
square
small.
feet?
That kitchen. That kitchen is the size of my bathroom now. My
New York's the most expensive real estate, though.
Hell yeah, bro! So essentially, you're paying $1,400 for 100 square feet. What's that? 140 a square? Ain't nothing renting out here for that, is it?
No. The rest of it here is ridiculous right now.
Oh,
You know,
that's
I think
not
so
horrible.
we're going
It's
I'm
catching
gonna
up,
go.
but it's
We're gonna
not
go
there
into
yet.
a rent bubble.
And
I
that
think
remember,
so.
that's in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, four.
so now it's got to
05.
be like $220 a square or like $240.
Bro, who knows? Maybe more. Because what you said, the Upper East Side.
Yeah, it was Upper East Side.
Well, what's the difference? Upper East Side. What is that?
Well,
Nice? Is that bad?
Upper East Side is like, all money. Upper West Side is like new money. That's what I call it. So, a lot of people that have money for a long time, families. And
where's the Village?
What's
well,
the
you
village?
got the East Village and the West Village.
And which one was
again,
the same thing?
well,
Old
the
money,
East
new
Village
money?
is crazy. You got a lot of those like rock bars and stuff like that. There's so many bars in New York. The nightlife is just amazing. You can go. That's why you go out every night.
Well, it's amazing from jazz, hip hop, techno,
Everything.
whatever. It's,
Yeah, I
it's
remember
everything
going-
in a melting pot. Everything, the best of the best.
No, it's
I
like
remember-
hipster stuff
Yeah,
almost.
I remember going to this hip hop club called Joe's, and it was freaking. Man, had so much fun. It was every Sunday. The place was blowing up.
So they hire you at Rockefeller Center after you do your interview.
Yeah, I got hired. I became head bartender there. Man, it was crazy. I think that I did the whole summer, and then my friends said I'm moving back to Miami, and I'm like, what the heck? We're moving back to Miami.
That's
so,
like your only guy you have to hang out with.
yeah,
right?
so
Every time.
I could have stayed, but financially at the time I'm like, I don't know if it's the best idea. So I moved back to Miami literally for like for the winter, and I felt like such a setback. I feel like this is not good for me. For my progress. So I end up going to, they called me back from Rockefeller Center from Restaurant Associates. Hey, you want to come and work again? And I'm like, hell yeah. So I went. I was gonna sublet this apartment from a friend of mine that lived up there in Brooklyn, and then so I jumped on the plane and I went back to New York, man. And that's actually when I met my ex-wife, and at Rockefeller Center, and then it was a great time living in New York for another summer, and then from there moved to Chicago.
Which takes
Where
you to
you
what
well
restaurant?
manage live music venues, right?
Yeah, so I did. I started with this Green Iguana.
Ooh, Green
Up there.
Iguana.
No, I'm sorry, no, the Blue
Yeah.
Iguana. It's called the Blue Iguana. They have a Green Iguana here, which is
Yeah.
the same company that I also work for, GI Entertainment. But it's the Blue Iguana, and it was on Sheffield. They had two places, one in Tinley Park and one on Sheffield downtown in Chicago. And this crazy is like, so it was like big kind of like college bar, but like huge. So we're doing like dollar wells, 75-cent domestic
Oh my
bottles.
God. Shit
And,
show.
By
yeah.
the college,
And,
college,
they
right?
had
Yeah.
this, so we had like big bands coming over there and playing. We have DJs coming out. I remember this great band in Chicago. It's called Two White Crew. So it's like old school hip hop, but it's like these 5 white people, singing.
But you're getting this experience from the shows and the clubs you worked at from Miami. You're just taking it up to Chicago,
Yeah.
which will transcend later in your story back in Tampa.
Because you started working with Chef, what was it,
Douglas-
Douglas Rodriguez?
Douglas Rodriguez, which is the godfather of Nuevo Latino style cuisine. So they opened a restaurant in Chicago called De La Costa, which is like it's like a supper club. They had a DJ in there. It was very loungy. It was in the River East building. Beautiful windows in the back. The place was designed amazingly. It was so gorgeous. That's when like restaurants started coming out with like these beautiful ideas, and it's like all theater in the coast of Spain. That's kind of what it was. And in the back, all the way in the back, you had this big glass, of the building, so you can see the river. And then they had these cabanas, and that almost like a booth kind of cabana with your own bartender.
Oh,
So
wow.
people can rent that, and then they make muddled drinks right there, all type of amazing cocktails. So it was really good. I learned a lot about kind of a little more finer dining. But
Were you cooking or were you just managing?
At that time, I was not cooking. I was like working mostly, with the bar. And it was a great experience. The thing is that then at my time, my daughter was born. So I had to make a change because it was kind of going to like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning because the closing and all the time. So, and I had to drive all the way to the city. So I decided to change when my daughter was born, decided to change. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to go into the corporate world. But it was not corporate at the time, but it was, I started working for Mimi's Cafe, which is...
We had one actually
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there off
right
of Dale
here.
Mabry
So, yeah.
before it became Black
Yeah.
Rock, I think.
Yep. So we at that time they were doing managing partners, so you get a percentage of the allocation. And I'm like, oh, that sounds sexy. I'm gonna go and jump into that. And then right after I got in it, Bob Evans bought him. So
Don't tell me they take away the percentage.
yeah, they took away that.
Coño!
I was like, God damn.
That's the whole reason it was so attractive.
Yeah, so we decided to do that. I decided to go ahead and stick to it. So we opened
Turn it towards you.
5 locations.
Yeah, there you go.
And then we did 5 locations. I opened 5 locations in Chicago, and then managing, and then I decided to.
For how many years?
Man, I think there was like.
This is De La Costa or
No, this is Mimi's Cafe.
Oh, okay.
So I met this area director, Mike Vinnick, which he runs BJ's Breweries here.
Are you talking about like BJ's, the restaurants?
Yeah. So now
shit.
he's an area for them. He was in Virginia. He had this different area, and he's like, I remember I got married, and then all of a sudden, like, he's like, I was gonna get married. He's like, hey, move to Virginia. Let's open a couple more restaurants. Help me out. So I went over there, started helping open one in Virginia Gateway, and then after that, I literally come back, got married, boom, jump 3 days later, I jump in a U-Haul and drove all the way to Virginia.
And these are still for Mimi's Cafe.
Yeah, and Mimi's Cafe was great. We had it was a great company. I think
it was like breakfast oriented.
It was breakfast,
I
lunch, and
loved it.
It was
dinner.
popping here.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
I think it kind of changed a little bit with the Bob Evans kind of bought him because they had their own like prep kitchen in California. They're still pretty big in California. So that's when, I was there in Virginia, opened 5 locations with them, and then decided to, hey, Mike Vinigos is like, he's not working for them anymore. He's moving to Tampa. He's like, hey, I'm going to, why don't you guys move to Tampa?
And you hadn't been in Tampa at this point.
No.
It's just
I was
been
at Miami.
Yeah.
It was like the place that I was. I was like, I'm never moving back to Florida. But then I came to Tampa and we came visiting, to take a look at the areas and stuff like that. And then I was like, I jump into, I get into the whole interview process with them. And then they're like, oh, I want you to move to Miami and work in Miami. We're looking for a person to run a Miami restaurant. And I'm like, I cannot move my daughter to Miami. It's just not a good place. That's
unless you're like Pembroke Pines.
Yeah, well.
Or like
I don't know.
on the outskirts. On the outskirts.
Okay.
But how many years when they want you to go back to Miami or back to Florida, it's not to open another Mimi's, is it?
No, that was for BJ to work for BJ. So I was leaving Mimi's Cafe.
But you were gonna help them open another BJ's in Florida?
In
Yes.
Miami.
Okay. So
in Tampa, but then also
yeah.
Miami.
So it was like 5. How many years?
Hey, let's when we get back from our break, we'll jump right back into the story because we're all intrigued. Like, comment, and subscribe. You're watching Happy Hour Holidaze. Thank you for listening. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Happy Hour Holidaze. We're going through a hell of a journey with a fucking hospitality fucking genius here, Joseph. So we were talking a little bit. We were at probably about Mimi's Cafe where we were about to go back to
BJ's,
Tampa and then BJ's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Manny said, take it easy, Papa.
Take
Before
it.
you jump so fast. How many years? Because this is the 3rd time I've asked you now. How many years were you working at Mimi's?
Do not condescend the guests.
7 years.
7? Okay. Within those 7, because the viewers
So you're
are
in your
seeing
30s now.
Hearing you say, okay,
Yeah.
you were helping open 5 locations, 10 locations.
In Virginia.
Go over a little bit about what you did to open those locations.
So a lot of it is training, right? We decided to, I think back in the day too, also restaurants had kitchen managers for Mimi's Cafe. It was a lot of Spanish cooks, glorified cooks that were kitchen managers, because that's what it was. And the problem is that everybody was concentrating on labor. They wanted to expand, development on these kitchen managers. I was horrible when I started with Mimi's Cafe. I almost had a whole kitchen walked out on me because the way I spoke to them. And then I had to learn either.
Like you were cursing at them or what?
Not
Like,
cursing.
come mierda.
No, but it was my tone and the way that you speak to people, and it was an eye-opening for me. So I end up from having a kitchen almost walked out to actually develop all the kitchen, a lot of the kitchens for Mimi's Cafe. So, the way that it happened, it was kind of crazy because we had to fire a kitchen manager for sexual harassment. They had this girl in a walk-in cooler, and then
We've all been there.
Trapping women and walking coolers.
Oh wait, no, not trapping.
Not
me. No, she was voluntary.
How we get this meat out of the cooler?
And then
Is that what
Lock
happened?
the door behind you.
Is that what happened? Trapped?
yeah. So then after that, so we had to let them go.
What?
And then we had to let him go. So I kind of got stuck in a position. I was kind of general manager of one location in Fredericksburg. And then I said, okay, so I had these 2 cooks that were like lead cooks. And I'm saying, every week we're going to sit down and I'm going to teach you something. So I started developing people. And I said, okay, this week I'm going to teach you about line check. This week I'm going to teach you about, cleanliness and, and safety. And then I want to pass that to the rest of the team. So you motivate people by 5 things, responsibility. Okay. You motivate people with responsibility by praise, obviously. You motivate people by praise. So 3. So it's a responsibility by praise and monetary, obviously. Money. But it was great. We actually became like we have this company called Stereotech. They come and check your cleanliness and your, that you hire to make sure you're ready for the health department. And we were number 1. And then between Mimi's Cafe and Bob Evans without a kitchen manager. So for me, it was starting developing kitchen managers to become more front of the house managers as well. So, they can open. They have...
What do you mean by front of house manager?
So be like, being able to go to the front and be the face too. So it not only gets stuck in the kitchen, but also be part of the front. And that's also a development. The more these people know, the better they're going to be. And there's people managers that, I'm just a front of the house manager. I'll go talk to people and tables, but you have to have knowledge in the kitchen. It's important. Every place that I worked, I'm able to go back there and make every dish to spec, because then you can ask somebody to do something without you not being able to do it. And that shows a lot of you. That's kind of grew more into developing people. And I saw, wow, there's something here that we're missing. You can have all the checklists in the world. You can say, hey, you do this walkthrough, you walk around here, you need to make sure that this is clean, that this is having our plates and all that, the temperatures and all that good stuff. But you have to follow up. You have to coach, you have to develop people to make sure they know. The more that they know, the better that your job is going to be.
And I think, Joseph, one thing that you told us off air was there's a lot of managers out there, but what do you need?
Leaders. You need leaders. I think that, and in this industry, we're missing a lot of leadership because it's, you can put anybody to manage a checklist. You need people to manage, guidelines, but leadership is what growth. People don't understand, but the face of the restaurants are your staff. Your staff are your ambassadors. You go to the people that talk face to face with your guests all the time. They're the ones who are going to give them that experience. If your staff is not happy, then your staff is not going to perform. Your staff don't perform, you don't make. You don't make money.
Yeah.
You don't do it.
Your customers don't come back, and that's one thing you always taught your managers or even your employees, whether you waitresses, waiters, bartenders. That's one thing about you. Like you say, a manager. Like you said, sometimes only a front of the house manager, sometimes only a kitchen manager. But one thing about you, you can run that kitchen. People want to see you, so you're the face of it. If there's a problem with a customer, easy. Joseph handles it in the front of the house. If there's a problem in the kitchen, he can handle that. If a problem at the bar, he can handle it. So, and you taught all your people this. I've seen it firsthand. And like you say, what? The responsibility, praise, money. Well, it's almost like steps. They got to earn it. Take on that responsibility. Okay, check. You got it. Get a little praise. All right. Now you earn that money.
Yeah, of course.
You almost got to do it to guarantee a person stays a great manager. You passed all your tests, and now they've earned it to move on, because otherwise you can give someone a bunch of money, but they're a piece of shit. They're still a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it'll fuck you and your restaurant at the same time. So one thing about this guy, his employees, his managers, and also him, he can tell you, He did a great job.
Customer
And he's
first, right?
Customer.
Yeah.
So then,
It's
at
about
what
people relations.
was there any point where you decide to open a restaurant?
So, well, with Mimi's Cafe, I got stuck working. Well, I didn't get stuck, but I
And
kind of like got
corporate.
with Mimi's Cafe because I didn't take the job with BJ's. But then I started, Mimi's Cafe got sold again by Madeline's Restaurants, it's another different group. And then, I said, it's time for me to move on. And that's when I started with Cooper's Hawk here in
I
Tampa.
love Cooper's Hawk, man. The wine
Tiffany
tasting.
loves that.
So,
Blueberry
obviously,
wine.
I'm from Chicago, Cooper's Hawk. It was great, and it kind of felt into the culture. That was the first location out of the Midwest. So,
And where was that at? International Mall?
right there in Boy
Cross
Scout.
Street.
Boy Scout,
It's on
yeah,
Boy
yeah.
Scout, yeah.
Texas Day Brazil.
Right next to
Del
Texas
Frisco's.
Brazil. Yeah, Del
Corona
Frisco's.
cigars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They had I tell you, so I go to Chicago for 3 months, in the winter with a whole new group of people from Tampa. They're going to be running the management team. They're all freezing because, they're all from Florida. But we go up there to Chicago 3 months. We opened this one location. I was the general manager for Cooper's Hawk. It was amazing. I think the culture was amazing. The wine tasting, the amount of wine this place sells is ridiculous.
Yeah, with all their memberships and
That's
I'm
the niche.
actually a member. I'm a
people
member
go there
there.
I'm sure you are. What,
Yeah.
you're paying 2 bottles or 1 bottle?
Two.
But that's the thing, that's kind of this.
It's only like
brings you back
19
to
bucks or
But
something
it
like
brings
that.
you back to the restaurant, right?
Oh, no, actually, I
That
don't
guy
go
is
and
genius.
eat there.
But then when you go for Christmas and
No,
you pick up like 25
That's
bottles.
what it is. Yeah, because then I just bring it out, and then my wife
perfect for the holidays.
she doesn't have to go to Publix.
Christmas
no more.
party
She just-
ready, yeah.
Let's go. But yeah, no, I work for Cooper's Hawk, and Cooper's Hawk was amazing. I was general manager. That place was when we first opened, it was cranking, man. It was insane. I think it was pretty huge.
It still is, though. I feel.
Yeah, I think it's not as busy as it used to be.
Yeah.
I think after COVID, kind of things got some setbacks. But it was great. So I was at Cooper's Hawk for 5 years. Made a lot of great relationships in that company.
What were you doing there? General manager.
General manager, yeah. And then from there, I started going to Blue Martini across the street.
Oh, I remember
Oh,
Blue
yeah.
Martini. Now it's Rocco's Taco.
Rocco's Tacos.
Yeah.
But I go so
That's where
going
all
down-
the MILFs were.
Yeah.
Cougar
And-
City.
And I
Cougar
met,
City.
and I really I had one bartender that Herman Torres, they work for me. That I said the guy is like known in Tampa, bartender, And then I go to cross the street to Blue Martini, and that's where I met John Olinsky, which is his head. This guy is bartending for Blue Martini forever, man.
Shout out to Joel. Yep. Joel,
Joel Linsky. He's kind of like he knew everybody in Tampa. Everybody that go, football players, baseball players, everybody that go to Blue Martini, he's the guy that So we built this relationship. We become really good friends, and we started talking like, hey man, let's open our own place. And it really was like, I think it's time to do something, and we spent about a year plus, looking for locations, we looked at the location. We got stuck really talking back and forth with where Haiku is right now in downtown. Yeah, at the Element Building. We're looking into this place. The place is like nothing. It has cement, nothing. No walls, no.
So you gotta build it out.
You have to build up everything.
Build out.
And we had this great concept that we wanted to open there, but it didn't
Was it like
come through.
$50,000 a month to rent that spot or something?
I tell you, we were going to put $1.5 million into that, but they were giving us a TI of $350,000, which is a lot of money, some places to do. But at the end of the day, the company owned the building at that time. They were from Chicago, so they own multiple buildings. So every time that we had a conversation, it's like we
Same
had to go
people.
back and forth with them. So it take a couple of weeks every time to sit down. Then they decided that I wanted to put in a clause that obviously about the noise ordinance, because as you know, like what happened with Franklin Manor, that noise, that was going to be an issue. I think everybody that live up there, and we wanted to make it like a tapas bar. like a upscale wine place, but like tapas with lazy Susans, and then people can sit down and have conversation, have little plates from all around the world.
Like the sangrias vibe. What was the other? Was it called sangrias?
No.
One was sangrias in South Tampa, but
ceviche.
Ceviche,
ceviche was a bunch of.
We actually look into taking over the ceviche location to. So there was a lot of talks into what we're gonna do. Unfortunately, it didn't come to fruition that area. So we end up like finding this place in West Chase.
Which West Chase is nice.
Yeah, West Chase is the bubble, you know.
The bubble, yeah.
So West Chase is nice. The reality is the West Chase is small, you know. It's a lot of money there. A lot of people live there, but the reality is not a lot of traffic in some ways, you know. But we decided to open this place. You know, we took it over. And then what we're gonna call it is end up calling Mothers.
Yeah, what? Why Mothers?
Yeah.
So my partners, you know, they're from Buffalo, and there's this place in Buffalo. It's called Mothers, and I guess it's a pretty cool restaurant. It goes like late night, and everybody knew about it. So we decided to start. Okay, I pulled the business plan together because you need a business plan. You know, business plan is like number one because you have to be able to measure yourself with something.
So listen, hold up. Before you get into it and continue to break it down, I don't want you to leave certain things out. Number one, he decided to finally partner with someone and open up their own restaurant. It's time. But no one can just do it. Hey, let's open up a fucking restaurant and fail in 2 months. Because you got to think about things like your leases, besides a kitchen build out. Because correct me if I'm fucking wrong. How much... You didn't have to because that place had a kitchen. I forget the restaurant what it was called.
A lot of cleaning, though.
How much would a kitchen be? No, honestly. A restaurant kitchen. It's a fucking sink costs $2,000.
$1.5 million is what he said.
Insane. No, that was for downtown. But like, it's anything, man. Equipment, you know, walk-in coolers, stoves, fryers, hoods.
Cha-ching. I got a
answer
sink
systems.
just where you wash the dishes is like $2,000.
Did you guys get like a loan for that or?
No, so we had a partner, a financial partner, Brad Spore.
So it's three of you guys.
Yeah, so it's three of us. So yeah, it's expensive. And the reality is like I had to like floors and booths and redoing
but it's
chairs.
An extreme commitment on you.
It's a lot of commitment.
Everything.
You know, it's a lot of pressure.
But what I'm trying to say is he just didn't jump into it. He had the best expertise from the biggest markets. Miami, then goes to New York, back to Miami, back to New York, Chicago. These are major markets in hospitality where he gets all this experience and then gets to, okay, now it's time. He knows what the fuck to do. Because it's funny, you said you and Manny were talking about sitting at the bar. I never sat at the bar ever in my life until Trent. Shout out to the homie Trent. He's like, let's go sit at the bar. Because in between running your restaurant, you would also be at the bar serving some drinks from time to time.
Yeah.
I met you through Trent, and it was the best experience ever. Because, yeah, Trent's there. We can shoot the shit back and forth, but it makes it better with this bartender, that bartender. Mm-hmm. It was a hell of an experience. So I just want to stress that to them that you didn't do it overnight. Like, hey, let's just open.
No, it just doesn't happen like that. Actually, it was a lot of work, a lot of stress, because you have a lot of behind. You know, you have to carry a lot. And it's a lot of burden. You know, so it was good, and we had a great vibe at the bar, like you said. We 100%. Have a great food. You know, we brought
these guys would have loved it.
Yeah,
these guys you would have. You had to kick him out.
I've been there quite a few times.
I brought a chef.
I almost got kicked out of a wedding this weekend.
A chef. We brought a chef also. So it's Primo Amicucci, you know, which he worked with me at Cooper Sock. You know, amazing guy, man. This guy had a lot of knowledge.
Amazing
It's his
food.
chef.
Amazing
and he
food.
actually works for Chicho's group now.
And we're talking about Mothers right now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
So, you know, he was a chef. He put a lot of work into that. It's just like, people don't understand in this industry, there's a lot of things you have to pay for. So we had live music, right? So we had bands, you know, 4 times a week. We had, you know, a couple different things every night. You have to pay these things.
How much do you usually pay for
like $500?
It's
maybe,
crazy.
Right?
Well, you can pay
much.
up to like at that time we were paying up to $700 for one show. You know, in there.
How long was the show?
Like 3 hours, 4 hours, you know, but then, you know, you pay $500, you know, for a show a night. But then the thing is that in the restaurant industry, you make from 7 to 15% profits, right? So, but then you have to cost your costs, right? Your cost of food, how much you're wasting, all these little things. Nowadays, also, it's the labor. Let's talk about labor for a second.
Now it's $12 minimum an hour.
If I knew, like, you know, how much you had to pay for labor, like what you pay now, it's insane. Before you had to cook, and you pay cooks, the certain amount of money. Now it's double the price, and the quality is like
mediocre.
Yeah.
And it's hard. You can schedule people to come in for an interview, like 30 people, and maybe not one shows up. Or you hire somebody and then show up for the first day.
Yeah, we're hearing a lot of that. People don't want to show up. It's hard to get employees. People to work.
It's crazy, especially after COVID. It's just kind of like changed.
What the fuck are they doing for money?
They're like,
That's what I want.
They're working from home.
They're like, hey, can I work
remote?
They're
doing things.
Can I work remote while I cook? Doesn't work like
there's
that.
so many other jobs that people had to kind of jump into that, at that time. So they were like, okay, what are we gonna do? And I think that it kind of changed. But go back to it, people don't understand like how you go down, you spend a little bit too much on labor, you spend a little too much on your food costs, you spend a little bit too much on your entertainment, and all of a sudden you're under.
Because you got your rent.
You got your rent,
insurance,
which is expensive.
How much was it at Mother's?
The rent?
Yeah.
Man, the rent.
Like 20,000?
It was like, no. It was a small location there, but it was so that we were paying like $4,000. No.
That's
amazing.
cheap as shit.
But we're talking when Joseph, when you started it up, what were the years?
Well, that was 5 years
14,
ago.
15?
Started
2018?
No, that was 7 years ago. That's when I started Mother's.
So about 2016?
2017.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 2017. I think it was at the end of September. I think we opened September 11.
And things like
And then
like
3
plates,
years later,
utensils, fucking
2020.
napkins, straws. These are things
It's
people forget,
people
and everything adds
understand
up.
you have to have a percentage, you have to have a budget. But the thing is, it's like you start worrying more about like, well, you got to pay your staff, you got to pay everybody instead of like taking care of you. And don't get me wrong, the restaurant is amazing. We did a really good job. The food was great. The bar was vibe. It was amazing. Joel did a really good job with that as well.
No, it was amazing.
And then it's still going. I just decided that it was time for me to do something else. Because that takes a lot of burden on you. And then
yeah, what were your shifts like? How many? I mean, I remember, but tell me.
I was there from
day.
like 8:00 in the morning to like sometimes 2:00 in the nighttime.
And were you still married at that point?
Yeah, and then that's when things kind of like went to the end for me. But
usually Monday or would Friday, Saturdays be longer? Would you be
like
there till
14,
longer?
15
3
hours.
a.m., 4 a.m.?
I think weekends was to 3 a.m. 4 a.m. and then you want to have a couple drinks because you're stressed out for all day.
And your first thing was, of course, demoing kitchen. But then when did you obviously helped develop the menu as well?
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And then
we had Primo was there. He did a really good job with the food, but we kind of combined heads and kind of like got together and like I put my parts in it, and I think we came up with something really good.
Who came up with the French toast sliders? Or is it the pancake sliders?
Meatloaf sliders.
Meatloaf sliders.
Fucking best.
No, but there was also one.
It was meatball sliders.
In the pancake sliders for breakfast,
French toast
right?
sliders.
So is that what they were?
This came out because of Mimi's Cafe. So Mimi's Cafe, they were making a meatloaf sandwich.
Yeah.
So I was like, and I see how they were making. They were making a meatloaf in a little cylinder. They cooked it, and then they just slide it into pieces, and then just put it on the grill. And I think Primo took that and put like, okay, let's make an aioli sauce on it. Like he did a really good job with that, and then those sliders were banging.
Yeah, meatballs meatloaf's not supposed to taste good, and that shit was great.
Christian goes there. He's like, all right, what are you gonna have? Well, I'm gonna have the sliders. I'm gonna have the chicken popcorn. I'm gonna have this, and I want all the sauces. Sauces.
They had chimichurri wings.
Ooh.
And Trin and I, oh my God, Trin and I would go together.
Were y'all high?
No, we would purposely split everything so we could order more things and try more. We tried everything on the menu because I couldn't finish a whole burger in fries. I'd be done. So you split, you could try chimichurri wings. Then one week we're like, okay, give us the wings that could crispy. But put all the sauce in. Buffalo, chimichurri. Oh my God. These guys from the meatloaf sliders, meatball sliders, I put so many people onto it. It was just incredible. The customer service was incredible. The wait staff was incredible. The bartender, shout out to Nikki. Nikki was there.
Yeah, Nikki
back
was
in the
there.
day.
Yeah, back in the day.
What he says, like the hospitality was just above par. But they would also do local charities, local functions. For Mother's Day, ran on a parking lot.
Yeah,
They
we
would
did a
come-
lot of things with the community, you know, all the schools around. We fed the teachers. You know, teachers don't make money nowadays. You know, schools don't have public schools have these like low budgets, you know, so it's like really good that, you know, we kind of connected with the community. We did something for the whole family. We did like events and jump houses, and we brought different companies, you know. My boy Neil's company too at that time too, we brought in and did, you know, we did a lot of great things that everybody came together. So it was a lot of fun.
That's why they supported you. 100%.
We did a miniature golf tournament outside in the parking lot. They come and set up the whole thing. And then
You sponsored golf tournaments, did scrambles at the
Oh,
Eagles.
shit, really?
Oh, well, we did this annual. Oh,
Shit. Down fucking film.
Yeah,
Cut that shit out. Cut it out. If you don't cut it out, you're an asshole. These guys, their trophies, Manny, they were wrestling belts.
Yeah.
those are
In
dope.
the first year, someone stole it, or what happened? There was a fight
I think there was a fight the first year. That was kind
because they
of.
wanted the trophy. For the golf scramble, the winners get like a wrestling belt with
Yeah.
all this
That's
There's
dope,
like
man.
champions.
Yeah.
and someone ran off with a belt.
Yes, but I'll tell you this.
And they had Brittany Lincecum like pros at their scramble at the Eagles. It was amazing.
We had it was crazy that actually those tournaments were they're amazing. So we started doing it for Father's Day. You know, it's like kind of like Father's Day tournament. So it's the day before Father's Day tournament, and I'm telling you, people were wasted in these tournaments. Like
it's golf.
there was so much sponsored liquor. We had Charlie Belcher going out there with shots of.
Oh, shout to Charlie Belcher.
yeah,
Charlie's
shout
for
to
a Fox
Charlie.
13.
Yeah, and like we did a couple shows of mothers for that, you know, on his show, Charlie's World, and then but they going out there in the golf cart with shots of Fireball, and they giving people shots of Fireball. Man, there was alcohol in every hole. I'm telling you that I'm surprised there was no cars flipped or anything. But it was so much fun. I'm you know, and they're still doing them, you know, every year. But it was 2 years of that. You know, we did a lot of things to the community. Again, it was time for me to kind of do something else.
So did you sell your steak in Mothers or?
No, I just separated. You know, I think the separated partnership. You know, we are on good terms. You know that.
So what does that mean, separated partnership?
Well, just decided. You know, for me at the time was best. You know, I think again the stress of like having the you know payments and paying your bills and making sure this. And personally, for me, financially, I think I needed to make it. You know, I needed to make sure that I was okay, that my family was okay.
Because the stress is he's the owner now, and everyone else got to get paid before him.
Yeah.
As y'all know.
Well, yeah.
So, and even though you're profiting from the restaurant, like sometimes it's tough still.
It is tough. So, and then I took a pay cut, you know, to go into open my restaurant.
We've had to do that a couple times. Is like not take a paycheck for a couple weeks just to allow the business to function normally.
That's what you have to do. And then it was
business owner gets paid last.
There was a couple of years of doing that, you know, and I took a huge pay cut, but because I wanted something better, you know, and I think that we did, you know, but I think at that point it was not for me. The time I needed to make sure financial was good, you know. I did go through a divorce, but my daughter, you know, make sure that she was good. So financially I had to kind of jump into place. So I hit up my friend and I go like, you know, I've been doing Sunset Music Festival, so I've been running the bars. So I said I would
during Mothers, the Sunset Music Festival by the Tampa Raymond James Stadium.
Before the weekend. So
EDM.
What do you do there?
So we staffed the whole, you know, all the food and beverage. So all the bars, so it's like 150 employees, bartenders, bar backs, runners, set up the bars, get all the liquor in there. So it's a whole week progress, you know. It's a lot.
This is a business that you own that you're doing?
No. So I did it with that Alan Fosco, which is one of the owners of Hula Bay. And for Johnson Toro, you know, for the owner of the Ritz, that he's part of the Sunset Music Festival. So we've been doing it for 10 years. So I've been managing with him. So, but it's a whole week. You start Wednesday before and you finish it Wednesday after, because you have to set up all the bars, get all the liquor, get all the setup, all the training, all the stuff for the bartenders. 2 days of massive craziness that you barely sleep. You know, we lived here and we had to get a hotel next door, you know, which you go put your head down for 2 seconds, come back in the morning.
Take a nap, let's go, time to rock.
Yeah, it's because it's like go, you know.
It's only a 2-day event though, right?
Yeah.
But it takes a whole week to prepare.
Oh, no, I get that part.
And
it's another one of these, like Club Space, motherfuckers just party nonstop. All that.
With all the alcohol.
While high on life.
High on life, yeah.
And then,
high on Mali.
So I hit up Alan. We have a great relationship, you know, we're great friends, you know, and he asked me before I opened my restaurant if I will partner up with him at Hula Bay Club. And I told him, yo, I have to do this for myself. I need to try to do this. I have to do it for myself. So he's like, all right, no problem, man. You know, so good relationship. You know, I hit him up and say, hey, if you know anybody's looking for director of operations for any concepts, you know, anything, please let me know. He's like, Joe, calm down, please. Sit down with me. Let's sit down on the table. And I'm like, sure, no problem. So I sit down. We sit down. He's like, man, you're great at what you do. And, you know, I think that we've got a good partnership together. We can do great things together. Like, I told him, because I just came out, you know, of having my restaurant with partners. Partnership is difficult, guys. You know, it's not easy. It's a marriage. You know, you have to be able, you know, sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. At the end of the day, I told him, we sat down on the table and I told him, as long as we can be honest with each other and be face to face with each other and say, yo, this is what's happening. This is how we're going to do it, right? What's best for the restaurant. Get out from that table and say, well, this is best for the business. And it worked. It worked. And I said, sure, no problem. We shook in it. We did that job. We, you know, did a lot of great things at Hula Bay. Hula Bay is such an amazing place, you know, right on the water. It's not a tourist trap. Yeah, at all. Okay,
it's more like a hidden gem.
Yeah, and people still don't know. It's been there for 13 years.
I've seen Rob Gronkowski there when he was playing for the Patriots.
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm telling you, it's like, so Hula Bay is, and it's going through another transformation right now. But like it is like, you know, from the food, from the building managers, bringing managers in the team. Cocktail menus, redoing the bar. I think that, you know, Hula Bay
location, being able to pull up on your boat.
Yeah, and now the real estate that's going in there.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
West Shore. Yeah. Do you think Salt Shack maybe took some business from Hula Bay?
I think it did at the beginning, but I'm gonna tell you one thing, you know, and this is not to. I don't give I don't talk bad about nobody, because I think Salt Shack is a great place. It has amazing view, you know, great bar, beautiful bar. But the food quality.
That's what I was gonna say. I like the view, but the food I was never impressed.
Yeah, with. The view is what it is.
Yeah,
you know? It is, and it's a great place. You know, it's the atmosphere is amazing. Yeah. But food has to be great.
Yeah,
you know, I think food has to be great, and that's something that I don't think people can take that from Hula Bay.
Yeah, that's what's gonna have them return customers, return clients.
Yeah, and I don't like to call them customers. I like to call them guests.
Yes, 100%. But they're not going to come back if your shit is trash.
No.
And they're not going to come back. It's one thing if your food is good, but if your hospitality is trash, they're not coming back. Customer service. So to have both is extremely important.
Gracious hospitality has to be number one.
I don't mind Salt Shack, man. I like Salt Shack.
I've never been.
Hey, fuck you.
But I mean,
no, I like Salt Shack too. And I have a lot of friends that work there. I'm just talking in terms of the difference.
Because like in terms of the food, like I don't go there for the food. I go there
to
sip
this guy
drinks.
Doesn't need anything.
Sip drinks and look at the wine.
A liquid lunch. But through your the Sunset Music Fest, that's how you stay connected with Alan. Boom, connects you with Hula Bay. And it wasn't just Hula Bay, it was Hank's as well.
What?
The surf bar downstairs.
Oh, no, Duke's.
So
you got Duke's and Hula Bay.
So you're running two.
Well, it's the same restaurant.
Well, before we get to that point, let's come back. Let's we got one more segment with Joe, and we want to make sure that we kind of make sure we get everything in there. So we'll be right back. Like, comment, and subscribe. We love the audience. You guys, holidazers, get high, whatever.
And drop some questions in the comments if you have any questions for the guests or any of us.
Right.
Hold on. And we're back with Happy Hour Holidaze, Holidazers. We're over here talking about the hospitality industry with Joe.
And you're talking about Sunset Music Festival.
Oh, yeah, we were
here.
talking about the Sunset Music Festival.
Setting up the bar.
And Dukes.
And Dukes, yeah.
So,
that's where
so
we
you
left off.
you get a job, and you are what?
I'm the general manager for Hula Bay, managing partner for Hula Bay. You know, and it was amazing. It's actually, I tell you, it's been the best ride. I learned a lot. But also the partnership was great. Working with the people that we have there, the staff is just amazing. You know, we have about 150 plus, you know, employees. But it's a great place. You know, it's beautiful to go every day into your office. It's like the water. You know, I tell you, it's gorgeous. You have dolphins out there, manatees out there. You know, people coming on their boats at Duke's downstairs.
Oh yeah,
you got a lot of booty out there.
You got Ric Flair every weekend there.
Drink some water though.
And the way you had the bay lit up, or
the water,
with
all the
lights.
catfish.
You throw a little bread over, you see 10,000 fucking fish. It's just a sight to be seen.
Same way it is with the Instagram horse nowadays. You throw a little piece of bread. You got to be careful out there, boys. Wrap it up, or you're going to be 10 deep.
Did you know you were going to be running Dukes as well?
So Hula Bay and Dukes is the same menu.
Okay.
The reality is that Dukes is a little more laid back, you know, so people can go there from their boats. You know, it's first come, first served tables. You know, there's no reservations down there. You can, but it's mostly like people that just come out. It's more relaxed. It's like a surfers retire bar, you know, kind of. And upstairs is Hula Bay, which has, you know, it's a little more sit down and beautiful bar, but, you know, which they're remodeling right now. It's still going to be open. But they're remodeling right now in January to the whole upstairs, the kitchen, to which it needs.
It needs it, right? Because I mean, it's
you
got
know, been
such
there
a
for
great
13
view.
Years, and you know, you have to keep restaurants. You have to keep putting money in it.
Yeah.
You have to keep it making better. You know, equipment and all.
Whether it be a McDonald's or Burger King, you got to update that franchise every 5-7 years.
Technology is one of the things. You know, nowadays technologies in restaurants is huge. You know, there has so many programs and things that you use to help you managing, you know, the back of the house. It's before, you know, you had tickets, people put in, you know, orders. Yeah. Now it's all handhelds and
the POS systems where they come right to you.
Come to your head.
They don't even bring you a check, just here.
Which I'm not I'm huge on like putting orders, but I feel uncomfortable when people give me a like, how much you gonna tip me?
Yeah. Question for you.
And then you got to sign off for membership and stuff, but it was great. I tell you, it was some great years with Hula Bay, you know. But again, I as a self-person, as a self-entrepreneur, as a self-person that wants to keep going and develop, you know, I think it was time. I did what I needed to do. I think I did what I did at Hula Bay. I think it's time for me to kind of just move to the next thing. And I always been very.
But you've been there how many years? At least 4.
5 years.
5 years.
Almost 5 years. Almost 5 years.
So then you transition into Clear Sky.
Yeah, which I started with Clear Sky now.
Now, is that your company or is that something that you joined?
So it's a company that I interview with. So I interview for a lot of companies, and I had a lot of offers, which it was good to feel, you know.
One of them was what? Union, Bulan.
I interviewed for the Forbici group, you know, the new Next Level group, which is an amazing group. I tell you, I met the owner, Joe Giante, and everybody else, really amazing people. They own Forbici, Union, and then Bulan, in, you know, downtown, which is such a beautiful place, by the way. Bulan, that place is gorgeous. The bar,
I've never been there.
It's right across the Edition, right now. It's beautiful. It's right in front.
Huron, right? Or no? Is that the name of it?
I don't know, but it's Edition, and it's right across the street from it. Yeah, so
like Water Street, close by the.
It's got great food and good view.
The food, the bar is beautiful and gorgeous. You know, Heather Rivas, the general manager there, she's amazing. I tell you, I had such a great relationship just talking to her. But I had a couple things on the table, and I think what was gonna really kind of work out best, you know, is working for this group. Number one, and like I sat down with the area director for Clear Sky, and we're sitting down, and he's like, we're talking, and it was a connection. There's a connection about like where do we think the industry needs to go to, what are the things that we need to do. And then all of a sudden, the owner, Dan, she sits down. And it's like, oh, I already seen your resume. Like, kind of want to talk to you. And, like, let's see. And he asked me some questions, And so we talked for, like, an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, And you have that feeling. You know when you feel that something is going to work well. I spent 6 hours with the area director going through all the restaurant locations of Clear Skies, which they have one in Dunedin.
You said it's multi-unit.
Yeah, so it says they have 5 locations for Clear Sky. So they're partnered up with Frenchies. So Frenchie and Dan are partners, and kind of it's like more of the Frenchie, the Clear Sky. And Clear Sky has breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Amazing food.
Good. You said good brunch, right?
Really amazing brunch. I'm telling you. I went to Dunedin. I'm sitting there in Dunedin. They have a beautiful restaurant there. And every restaurant has a different menu. From 5 locations, they all have the same name, obviously. But they'll have brunch, but they have this different menus. Mm-hmm. And it's for me, that's interesting. And the amount of food there is in there. It's just crazy. So I go and check it out for brunch. Me and my girlfriend would go there with her brother and his fiance, and we're sitting down and we're having brunch. They're like Bloody Mary bar. This lady has this bar. She's been working there for 9 years doing Bloody Marys for people. Okay.
Holy shit!
It's like you finish with your Bloody Mary. It's like a mountain. It's like, but it's delicious. They're doing like Dunedin is more like breweries and smokehouse and that. So the menu it has a lot of things with like smoked brisket and ribs and show ribs, and I had like this show ribs and eggs,
and then smoked tota, right?
Yeah. But it's hey. But it's great. And I tell you, it's a great people, great concept, and I felt that was going to be a good fit for me. Going there, help them have some structure and stuff like that, which they already have some great things going on. And it's just a couple of like every restaurant, we all need to make tweaks. We just need people, leadership, and back again in development. And I think that's what I am. I feel now. I feel like I'm a developer. For me, I like to develop people for better. The guy from owner of Virgin Airways says, you train people so they want to move up and grow, right? But you treat them so they want to stay.
Yeah.
And that's facts, man. I tell you, that goes hard for me. Integrity is huge for me. Being able to be there for people and help them grow, whatever they're going to be here, they're going to be somewhere else, grow, have fun on what you do. Mm-hmm. If you're not having...
But want to stay with you.
But you want to stay. You want to be able to stay. Hey, I can go develop my career, but I feel so comfortable here. I feel like people love me. I feel like a family feel,
Who's the woman you brought with you over to Hula Bay?
Emily.
That you would not leave.
Yeah.
And she's been
there, and she's great, and she's still at Hula Bay, and she's doing such a great job over there. I tell you, it's all about the development that you do for people. You want people to take their job, When I sit down with somebody in front of me in an interview and they tell me, so what do you want to do? I always go like for myself, and it says, with all the respect, I want to do, what are you doing? I want to do your job. Because the reality is self-growth, self-development. Not only you develop people, but you have to understand that you got to put yourself first sometimes. And you have to be able to understand that you need to be able to be good for yourself. And I feel like that's in my career. It kind of got to the point that like, I feel like development for me is huge. Working for companies, working for people, having fun, man, on what you do, because you have to have fun in this industry again. Like, have some shots. Let's go.
Yeah, everyone comes to see. Everyone comes to see Joseph. Everyone comes to see Joseph's whether I met your mother, so it was Mother's, Hula Bay. I'm sure it was the same way at Mimi's Cafe, Cooper's Hawk.
Man, we have parties at the pool at Hula Bay.
And no, 100%. I DJ'd a couple of them.
Yeah.
Big parties. So now you're going to be multi-unit, which real estate, you think multi-unit, duplex, quadplex, sixplex, eightplex. But multi-unit in restaurants means multi-franchises or locations. Mm-hmm. So, and your job is going to be oversee 5 of them?
Well, I'll be managing into 5. Yeah, just going into different, working on the five of the locations.
Which, how many are Frenchies and how many are Clear Sky?
With Clear Sky is 5. I think French's is about the same.
Oh,
6
so it's
or
more
so.
than. So it's like 10.
Yeah, but I'm not going with the French side. So I'm sticking with the clear side, and I'm going to be going from restaurant to restaurant.
Yep.
And not really like fixing, but developing. I think that they have great things going on, and I think that it's just always get better. Always to do things. That you always have to adapt yourself. Like I said, technology, bringing new systems in place. Sometimes we get stagnant working in one place, seeing one thing, because we're there all the time, right? When you bring fresh eyes out into a place and somebody that it thinks you have a good relation you can work with, then, man, you're going. You're
talking
working.
about good relationships. You mentioned a name that I've heard before. You said Joe Gigante, right?
Joe Gigante. Yeah.
Gigante. What does he do exactly?
He's the owner of Next Level Restaurant. So I think he worked he was with the Chichos group in the back in the day, and then he did open for Vici. So
and were you working with him, or you said you just interviewed?
No. I just interviewed with them. And it didn't come to fruition with us. Which is fine. But I tell you, it was a great atmosphere, great opportunity to kind of sit down with them. I also had another offer for like a multi-unit for 200. They have 200 locations.
Sheesh.
But that's what means a lot of travel. And really, I don't feel like traveling anymore like that. I did that already before.
I was about to ask you. So where do you see the future of Joseph going? Like, because it seems like every 7 years you're like, you know what, I need to grow, I need to develop. So, I mean, where do you see your future going in terms of what it may hold?
I'm a person that lives on the day, and I think that you learn every day. The day that you stop learning is the day you're dead, But I feel that for me, it's learning. And I think I'm in the stage of my life that I like to develop people and take it to the next level, for myself. It's always keep pushing myself from working, being a server, bartender, food runner, dishwasher, anything it is, to management, to leadership, to growing people. The amount of people that I met in the industry, a lot of friendships that I built with our industry are amazing. Like we met, in the industry because of our friends. Shout out to Train again, but but yeah, we
and going above and beyond. I remember you providing food for my father's funeral.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but that's
things that Joseph. No, of course, but like you're not fly by night. Just we started a restaurant. I'm a partner here, bar. You know what the fuck you're doing. It has nothing to do with that situation.
No, of course not.
But why people love you, and you have such great character, such great personality, which is it possible for you to tell people when you're the face of the business, face of the restaurant, why the pros and the cons? For someone who's watching right now, when you are the face, when people come directly to see you, meaning if you're not there, Joseph working tonight, nah, all right, fuck it, I ain't going.
That doesn't happen, does it?
It happens at clothing stores.
At clothing stores?
100%.
What do you mean clothing store?
Iman is not at Milano Exchange.
Are you talking about like a tailor?
It could be anything.
So you do get that.
You really
get that, but
yes.
It's like going to the strip club and your favorite stripper's not there.
Then you're probably not going.
Exactly.
No, absolutely. You have to build that relationship, man. It's face to face. It's being unique. Like I tell all my servers, like I tell anybody, be yourself. When I hire somebody, I tell them, what are you going to do? It says, so tell me what's gracious hospitality for you. Not a trick question, what it is. Be yourself, okay? Be honest with yourself. Have integrity of what you do. Do it because it's the right thing, not because other people are watching. Do it because you want to grow. Either you're in the restaurant industry, you're a server now, but you're going to be a president of a company later, or you're going to be an entrepreneur or do whatever you need to do. Do every day, do what's best, and build those relationships. Never burn the bridge, because that you never know what tomorrow comes. You never tomorrow, and be genuine. The reality, you know, like Christian, we talked about your dad, you know, I know your mom, your dad, your family, you know, 4th of July parties.
Yeah.
But again, record that one.
This guy, he set me up.
But that's something that you have to keep, you know, and build and make sure that you keep moving. So going back, I tell you what I leave for people. They're watching this, and you know, if you have any questions, please send them, and we'll answer whatever. But if you're thinking about this, just understand that your own development is going to be what's going to be great. Now, if you don't know shit about the restaurant industry and you got money and you're just going to freaking dump money into a restaurant, make sure you have somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing. If not, run.
Are you saying call you if they got a bunch of money?
Yeah,
then
call me.
Yeah, there you go.
But
Maybe you could start a little consulting business on the side also.
Yeah. I actually almost opened one with my friend Herman. It's called Tree Hospitality Group. We branch.
We branch out. I mean, no, it's like a retard. Trying to get into the real estate business.
That's actually pretty good.
Paying over 100 racks for a house, you know, getting smoked in the butt. And just falling on their face. Like, this nothing to do without no experience or someone who has experience.
Yeah. Joe, is there anything else you want to leave for the audience? You know, maybe final words or anything like that? I know you kind of did it on your own, which was great because we didn't have to ask it.
No, but again, you know, like, it's all about this. I'm excited about the new, you know.
Which location are you going to be at for a little while so they can come see you?
I'm going to be in all of them, but you know, I'll be in the one in Dunedin. I'll be in the beach, which is right next to the Sand Pearl. That's great.
Is that Clearwater?
We're going.
That's Clearwater.
They got break.
When the boys call you, we need that good table.
We
need that.
I'll get you that table. I tell you that the beach area is nice right there on the beach, literally right next to the Sand Pearl.
Dunedin, what else?
You got Dunedin,
Clearwater,
East Lakes, Clearwater downtown on Cleveland, which they just opened that concert venue right there. Right?
The Vinoy.
The
Coachman Park.
Oh, Coachman Park.
Yeah,
got redone.
They opened the whole new.
Yeah, they redid it. They redid it.
That's amazing.
That's where Wild Splash was at.
Yeah, I remember Wild
They don't want us.
Splash.
They don't want the people smoking the ganja yanda.
1 minute, guys.
But yeah, you know, we have that one. We have a new one on Park that just opened, the newest location. So yeah, we got East Lakes, Dunedin, Clearwater Beach, Clearwater Downtown, and Park. You know, those 5 locations. Go check it out. Every place has a different menu, so go check out all of them. Yeah. You know, they're all in close proximity. You know, they're all by the beach area. So East Lake's a little higher, but like, go check them all out. I'll tell you.
Well, thank you so much, Joe, for being on the show, man. We really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
One thing at Happy Hour Holidays, for all the holidayers out there, leadership is one of the biggest things that I've heard today when it comes to starting a business or being in the restaurant business. You can be a manager, you can have a ton of people, but if you're not a leader, that shit won't go any fucking where. So that's one thing I definitely know. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions for Joe, please leave it in our reels that we have, and listen to the podcast on Apple Music, Spotify.
Peace out.